He did less damage than Chu Yao. He did less damage. Can you believe this? Alright, we're revisiting Petros to try him out in Point War, where I can give him my own build and see if he's redeemable, because my previous showcase was on Beatbout and this guy was a little too underwhelming. And part of the reason why he is really not performing in Beatbout or in, even in Knockout is because of the rival runes that they gave him. They gave him Astral set, which I think is not the best set for him. It's really not that good. They gave him attack percentage for both of this, and also speed. This guy doesn't need speed in my opinion. The 2-piece set is correct. Avatara is good on him. And also they gave him 4 useless stats. Accuracy on this one, accuracy on this one again, another accuracy here, and another one right here. So they gave him 4 absolutely useless stats for him because he doesn't need any accuracy. All of his skills doesn't do anything. It is just pure damage except for when he procs his passive, but his passive cannot be resisted and won't miss. And the reason why he doesn't really need attack all that much is because his S1 and S3 already scales with his own HP, and his passive only scales with his HP. It doesn't scale with his attack. Even this part of his passive where he's taking less damage and he's immune to the enemy's effects is based on his HP, not his attack. So they completely shafted him with his rival runes. It is really bad. So let's see if I can make him slightly better in Point War than he is in Beatbout. I have tried him a little bit and he's doing okay. Again, not the best, just okay. I've decided to give him the Thor set and no crit rate. The reason why I don't give him any crit rate is because his S3 and S1 does like no damage at all. So might as well just go with no crit rate, and his passive is guaranteed to crit. And if I'm not mistaken, this is also a guaranteed crit on Chu Yao's buff. It will 100% be a crit damage attack. So you want really high crit damage on him, really high HP again for his passive to work, where he takes less damage per 1000 HP, and also where he is immune to the enemy's attacks. And you don't need him to have high speed because when the enemies drop to below 20% HP, he instantly gets a turn. So you want him to be in this irascible mode pretty much as long as possible, just to counter attack and do a lot of stuff. Also, one thing to note, when he procs an Avatara in the irascible mode, he also performs the pursuit with his passive. Let me just build the team real quick, and boom. Wow, this team is totally not pay to win at all. I got lucky actually. I got one R1 Sakura yesterday, and again, this guy, you can throw in any support on him and he will not be the main carry. You can throw in Shren Pin in this team, but you remove, for example, the Daji, he's not going to drop the enemies below 20%. There's no chance. So I have to run a really strong carry for this team to work. Usually when I go up against a Mavis comp, I lose if I run a Daji comp, because Daji is kind of stupid. She doesn't go for Mavis most of the time. So with this guy, I can just ignore the Mavis and just instantly go for anyone else. I also have my Chu Yao on the stun set just to make sure that the enemies don't have the effect of Sakura for too long. And I have Lian just for protection. Petros is pretty much just here to provide his passive and to kill off, Mavis. There's no guarantee that this is gonna win. Yeah, okay. Like I said, there's no guarantee. His damage is only 100,000. Daji is doing 800,000. As usual. At this point in the game, his only role is to counter Mavis. He's not really there to counter Daji because he doesn't allow Daji to cheat, allow the enemies to have a cheat death. The enemy Daji will still retaliate you with like a one-shot mechanic, right? So yeah, like right here, he's like doing nothing. 100,000. But he's doing nothing because he's already countering Mavis's passive, but he instantly goes for Mavis regardless. Yeah, we got soloed by an R6 Sakura. She's definitely balanced, by the way, guys. We got soloed by a Sakura and a Wuyu, and I have a full team. I have my own Sakura, I have an R6 Lian, I have an R6 Daji, and I got soloed. So Petros did a lot right there. Okay, you know what? Let's just fight this one. He has an R6 Jinchu, which could be problematic, but he's only R1, D1. So he's missing a lot of stats. Usually, anything below like D6 Jinchu, I can deal with it. There we go. Okay, this time he did a little bit more. 130,000. Again, his main role is at this point is just to counter Mavis. Nothing else really. Against other teams, it's like really pointless to run him because he doesn't do any damage. Yeah, this one he's doing decent damage. Sorry, I got a phone call just now. Only because the Chu Yao buff or the Ggez buff was on the Mavis. That's the reason why he's doing decent damage. Not a lot, just, you know, decent. This guy doesn't have an R6 Sakura, so he's not going to solo me. R6 Sakura is a mistake, man. I don't know how they allowed to run, to even release that Esper. Okay, this one we should be winning easily. You know what, just to prove it, I don't even need to run a full team to beat this type of team. He doesn't have an R6 Lien to protect him. So with this team, I don't need to bring a Petros. Just Ggez alone can carry the team. I can probably even like two-man this team with Ggez and Chu Yao. It would probably win. Another Mavis comp, but this one should be an easy win. Yep, there we go. He did 86,000. Again, his damage is not what you should be looking at, but it's also what he should be doing, right? He's labeled as a fighter, and at this point, his only role in this team is just to provide his passive. Nothing else. He's not really providing damage. Yeah. I mean, it does help a little bit because, again, like this instance right here, the Ggez doesn't go for Mavis. So ignoring Mavis's passive right there is really good. So there we go. We killed off the R2 Jinchu. Even through Mavis. He's okay at countering his, Mavis. Is he the best though? I don't know. He's definitely not the most budget-friendly Mavis counter. We have Tolan, which is the same rarity that can counter Mavis, but he is slightly stupid because he doesn't go for Mavis sometimes. He will go for the fastest Esper, right? Fastest, no, the Esper with the most AP. We have a free unit, Liao, that can counter Mavis just as well as this guy. So maybe not as well, slightly, you know, weaker, because when Liao dies, his debuff doesn't work anymore, right? There's that. Alright, we're increasing the stakes a little bit. We're going up against an R6 Ggez of our own, and there's also an Iki. They also have an R6 Lien. Very scary team, but I have Chu Yao and Ggez. These two combined together probably is going to solo the entire team. There we go. Shit, he did less damage than Chu Yao. He did less damage. Can you believe this? Can you believe he did less damage than Chu Yao? Oh man. Unbelievable. Who let this man cook? Please, do not let him cook. He is cooking rubbish. He did less damage than Chu Yao, and my Chu Yao isn't even built like damage. He's built with like probably like HP speed. No crit damage at all. I just want him to survive, and he's doing more damage than Petros. Okay, let's see. Once they drop to below 20% HP, he's going to go into that mode. Oh, he's already in that mode. Now I just have to hope and pray that he counter attacks. But I mean, he's really tanky. As you can see, he always has like 100% HP with him at all times. Look at that. He's taking like negative damage from Wu Yu. Wu Yu is pretty much like healing me up because I have the buff from Sakura that keeps on healing me whenever I do an attack or something, or whenever I get hit. And he has a total of 50% damage reduction. I haven't checked actually if his damage reduction can go above 50%. Okay, against this team, we might win, but there's a high chance that we lose because Momo with Chu Yao's buff might just solo me. Unless the Chu Yao's buff goes to Ggez, then we might win because he doesn't have an R6 Ggez. But he does have an R6 Sakura though. So Sakura is probably going to solo me. Yep. He did 55,000 damage. Immaculate damage. Alright, R6 Jinchu, but he's not D6. We might win. He has a lot more protection, but there's no Mavis, so there's really no point for me bringing him. As you can see, 17,000 damage. Wow, this guy is something else, huh? I'm just gonna find some Mavis comps. Legit, there is zero purpose for you bringing him against any comps that isn't a Mavis comp. I mean, if you want to bring him against R2 Daji, it could work a little bit, but he's not that good of a Daji counter. He's a decent counter to Ollie because he completely bypasses it, but any other team, you can legit just bring any other DPS and it will do better than him. Okay, so this team, R6 Jinchu with the Mavis, I'm going to lose. There we go. Oh, he did more damage than Daji this time. 360,000. I gotta take a look at this one. And since I don't have any speed on him, look at that. Look at his tankiness. He is really tanky. There's no denying that. So, okay, does he kill Mavis? Ooh, 176,000. That's with Chu Yao's debuff, Seer debuff, defense break, and also Daji's debuff. But he couldn't solo the Jinshu. Yeah. He's really tanky, but Jinshu is still tankier than him. I might try a different build on him. Maybe running Ocean Set. Because Ocean Set, he might be able to win against it. No, there's no way. He cannot break through Jinshu's shield. Even if he enters the irascible mode like 99% of the time. And in that 1% time of downtime that he's out of the irascible mode, he's dead. Yeah, the Jinshu is unkillable. R6 Jinshu is really scary. Alright, this team we might be able to win. My Chu Yao hopefully can keep up with the stuns to make sure that the enemies don't heal up too much. Nice. Okay, we won against an R6 Sakura. But is it really because of Petros? Let's see. Not really. Oh, maybe. Let's see. He's gonna go into... Oh, he goes straight for Mavis, which is useless. Yep, there we go. He's already countering Mavis's passive, but he keeps on going for Mavis. Let's go. So Mavis is no longer in the battlefield. He is now just a standard DPS or below average DPS because his DPS is completely garbage. At this point, it's just Daji putting in work with all of her true damage. Is he gonna one-shot that Sakura? Boom. 2.9k insane damage. 43,000, not bad. With Daji's debuff. Alright, I'm in tier 23 right now and I've done like 9 refresh. And there is no Mavis comp to be found. Yep, no Mavis at all. And the purpose of Petros is just to go against Mavis. So there's really no point to continue the showcase. So what are my final thoughts on this guy? Is he good? How good is he? In my opinion, he is below JJ, slightly above Raven. That's where I'm gonna put him. And then, is it worth it to summon him? No, 100%. Do not summon him. If you want to counter Mavis, just go for Tolan if you already have him. Or just go for a free unit, bruh. Free unit. Where is he? This guy right here. This guy counters Mavis. His AI is smart enough to counter Mavis with his S3. Just go for this guy to counter Mavis. Does he need a buff? This might be a bit surprising, but in my opinion, I think he doesn't need it. All he needs is a change in the rival runes. Give him HP percent, and remove this garbage right here. Accuracy percent on him. It does literally nothing on him. Just change the rival runes and he doesn't need a buff in my opinion. Because every new shimmer doesn't need to be game breaking, meta breaking every single time they are released. We already had Wuyu and Iki back to back. Iki was, when he was first released, he was meta defining. He was the meta, the top meta. And then when Wuyu was released, she is the best team in the game. She still is the best team in the game, thanks to Sakura being R6 and everything. And Wuyu herself is an insanely OP character, right? So every streamer doesn't need to be, game breaking every single time. Petros is doing his job decently well. His passive is kind of like tricky in a way. You know how this guy is always somewhere in the meta, but he's not in the meta himself, right? Because he is used to counter the meta. For example, his passive is used to, back in the day, it used to counter Clara. Back when the game first launched. It's used to counter Clara, it's used to counter Sally, and it's used to counter Anna at one point, even JJ when he was released at one point. So this guy was in and out of meta, and I think this guy is going to be in the same scenario where if a really stupidly OP Esper that has, you know, passive that he nullifies, he is going to be in the meta for that amount of time, for as long as that Esper is in the meta. So yeah, that's about it. Do not summon for this guy. Skip him, go for Wuyu. If you want to go for Wuyu's Resonance, go for it. And ciao.